Microsoft's Xbox Series X is just around the corner, and let's talk about what it can do. Alright everyone, so I haven't posted a video in the past week. I've had some birthday celebration and some other stuff going on, but we have some interesting stuff to talk about because, let's face it, the past week online, all I've seen on Twitter, social media, YouTube, articles, blogs, whatever you want to call it, SSD, 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 breaking news, SSD. Look, the thing is, next generation with Microsoft Xbox, you have a lot more to expect than just faster loading times. I know, that's an absolute shocker, because believe it or not, Microsoft does have an SSD in their console. But next generation isn't just about the SSD and loading times. While those things will be cool and they're going to help out in a lot of areas, we're going to be open up to a brand new world of technology. And that's the most exciting part about next generation. And I feel not a lot of people are talking about it. One of the things being ray tracing, real-time ray tracing, something that people believed for decades was never going to be a thing, and then we now have it. Real-time ray tracing is one of the best things that's ever came to gaming visually in a long time. It completely changes the dynamic of how a game looks. It gives games a realistic look. Now that's something I would call next gen and actually impressive. Next up, frame rates. Now, there will be a time soon where we will talk about 60 frames, 30 frames and all that stuff, but yes, some developers next generation will stick to 30 despite the fact that we have a more powerful CPU fairly capable of 60 frames. Some developers will go for 30 and just maxing out all the visuals, but we will still have more 60 frames games. A lot of the time when a first person shooter comes out, some people ask first, is it 60 or is it 30? And sometimes they say 30. Well, it looks like that may not be a thing for first person shooters next generation. Bright Memory Infinite is going to be 60 frames 4K and be ray traced, so that's a good sign. And bear in mind, that's one single developer, or at least a small team of developers. It's very impressive what some of these teams are going to be able to do with this technology. Another thing is variable rate shading. Now, a lot of the times when you're playing a big open world game, the game's having to load in ginormous areas at any given time, and this can pretty much use up your entire GPU. It's one of the reasons why your console can actually run loud, hot and whatnot. But this means your console's just going to have to load in what's needed, what you can see. You're going down a street in Red Dead Redemption 2, why would you need to see the backs of buildings? Those can just load in when you get closer. That's the type of thing I'm talking about. And this is going to improve open world games even more, because that means we can have bigger open worlds. And not just bigger open worlds, more detailed open worlds. Now, when it comes to next generation, 4K textures, 8K textures, that's going to be a thing. Now this generation we have had HD textures a lot of the time, and some games have had 4K textures, but the thing is, not a lot of developers use UHD textures, and next generation with the SSD in combination with how they can use the RAM and the CPU, that shouldn't be an issue. You play something again like Red Dead Redemption 2, the textures are high quality, and that's on an Xbox One X. Next generation developers can take more advantage, or I should say better advantage, of technology this way. And let's talk about load times, the thing people want to keep talking about. One of the big things next generation for Xbox is going to be the fact that you can just go back and forth between games. So if you're like me, you're going to spend a lot of time going back and forth between the same few games. Well, with Quick Resume, you can just go back and forth, and what you would call load screens before and load times have been cut down into just mere seconds. Now, that's impressive. So for me, for instance, right now I'm playing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and Yakuza. Well, now I can just go back and forth between them without any issue or loading screens, and that's quite a benefit. And the fact that it'll do that, even if the console's been updated and or turned off, that is impressive. Now, the thing about next generation is that we're going to be finding more and more about backwards compatibility. And we know so far that all backwards compatible games will be getting HDR. HDR is something I've been wanting in a lot of games this generation for backwards compatible games, such as Alan Wake. Games like that greatly benefit from HDR. And the thing is, HDR can greatly improve just an overall image. Like, you have access to more colors, and the fact that they're doing this using heat maps it's just impressive how the backwards compatibility team has came over the years and just evolved the technology. And we still have stuff to find out. We still don't know if we're going to be seeing more games in the future. It's just really impressive that we're seeing these types of updates and upgrades for next generation. And frankly, I think it's exciting. If you have a lot of backwards compatible games, you're going to be seeing a lot of big improvements. And the thing is, again, the SSD, we're going to be seeing better load times compared to this generation. Open world games won't have such massive loading screens like we have seen this generation. Anyway, I have more videos coming out soon. I've been slow the past week because I've had, birthday stuff going on. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Share it out on social media. It really helps the channel out. And again, I have a lot more coming this year, a lot more coming soon, and some interesting stuff coming down the line. Hopefully soon when this PC gets delivered and sorted. And yeah, everyone out there, just be safe. Be safe out there, take care of each other. And yeah, I'm out. Everyone, have a good day. Peace.